Hello, everyone, and welcome to RP Geeks, where we play TTRPGs, sometimes with a little sprinkling of science. Sometimes. There should be some science in this one. Just a little bit.
Magical science.
Magical science. Rocks.
Best kind of science.
Geology. Rocks.
Botany.
Hi, I'm Emily Bates. I'm one of the RP Geeks. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm joined by my fellow RP Geek, Shamini Bundell.
Hiya. I see she, her pronouns, and I'm like, the other RP geek is here. I'm going to throw to Lauren.
Hi, I'm Folarin Akinmade. I am not an RP geek, but I am a geek who plays TTRPGs. So there you
really
go.
Are, at heart, you know.
Well, exactly, honorary. And I will pass on to Lou.
Hello, I'm Lou. I'm also not an RP geek, but I am a geek that plays TTRPGs, like Folarin, and I usually their programs. Yes, let's do that. They programs, and I'm gonna pass this program on to Michelle, who's not below me because I've seen where I am in the layer for that.
Who knows where I am? Hello, I'm Michelle Kelly. My pronouns are she, her. I really think of myself more as an RPG dork. Maybe a nerd on a good day, but
Subtle, very important distinction.
Yes, very honoured to be amongst the RP geeks today. And I will throw to Jeremy.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jeremy. I'm happy to be guesting again on RP Geeks. Very excited to be here. My pronouns are he, him, and I can't wait to jump in. I don't think I need to say anything other except that I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm on this with this group of people right now, and I think it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, we'll do
I'm
plugs and things at the end, everyone, so you can...
I also think I forgot to say my pronouns are he, him.
Lovely. And Baby Nightbot is obviously also here. For those of you who don't know, Baby Nightbot is a creature that Shamini made. And we love them. So if you do hear a rogue baby cry, it's not me doing excellent sound design. It's it is, in fact, most likely Baby Nightbot. Talking of excellent sound design, shall we get some music running? Should we just jump into it, gang? Is it too quick?
Oh,
I'm scared.
I'm a bit scared. It's like new
scared.
system, new game, new group, like
new D12.
As our
new
expert
D12s.
Mechanics.
I know all the mechanics.
Shamini, what are the core dice that we use, and how do
the
we
key
use
thing
them?
you need to know? I've lost them already. Where are they? Where am I? The key thing you need to know about Daggerheart: none of this D20 nonsense. Instead, we have. Oh no, that's a D20. I got the wrong dice out.
No, you're having the opposite problem that most people have when they first start playing D&D.
I was like, we have
two
two D12s. Yeah. Nope, we don't. We have two D. Just imagine. We have two D12s. And we're going to be rolling two D12s for everything. And there's two different elements now. There's succeeding or failing on the roll, getting above or below the number of the difficulty, which does mean you succeed and fail in what you're trying to do. But there's also succeeding or failing with hope or with fear, depending on whether your hope or your fear die rolls highest. And when you roll with hope, you get to mark hope and feel hopeful.
Yeah.
And when you roll with fear...
Oh, Zoom has just done a little thumbs up for you.
I was... Wait, what?
Well, if we all do it.
No.
If we do this, will it happen?
I didn't even do it, did I?
We fluked it.
Yeah. If you roll with fear, be afraid. Because the Fate Weaver gets it.
I will get... Well, I can either make a move, a GM move, or
in
a
that moment.
Weaver move in that moment, or I can take a fear token, which I can use to make moves later on. And I can make a move that maybe you don't see. So, something might be happening in the background. Spoilers, I might use that one a couple of times. I've got some plans for that.
Oh.
I quite like the idea of you all being like, oh, I failed, but nothing seems to be going on. And I'm like, well, they're dead now. Tickety tick.
Dum, 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 dum.
Which I will say from the reading that we've done, we've all looked at the rules. I've read most of them, I think. I have read the whole thing, but we are learning, we're absorbing. It also has been changing. So they are putting updates out fairly frequently. So when I first read the whole rule book, we were on version 1.2. We're now on 1.4.2. So it's moved on a bit. So if we reference older rules, tell us in chat, but we're also not going to worry too much about it. This is a playtest. It's an open beta. If we get it wrong, that's part of the fun. We're going to have a lovely time. We're going to tell a good story, which is my favorite thing actually about this rule set, I will say, is it really does highlight throughout the whole thing that the most important thing here is you're collaboratively telling a story. So even though I am going to be fate weaving, going to be your GM, I'm going to be taking ideas from the players. I basically didn't write my part of the story until I had the characters from these guys, and I can't wait for you to meet them. So that being said, shall we begin? How loud is that music? There we go, that works. The Kinekozan Jags are a moving mountain range where the stone dances by day, slumbers by night, and the deep mines provide only questions. The rocky slopes spring to life with each sunrise, an outer shell of stone shards flowing and reshaping. The inhabitants of the Jags refer to this as the Mountain's Dance, or more properly, the Waltz of Stone, a dance that travellers would do well to learn the steps of, if they want to survive. Jeremy. The low rumbling of distant thunder mixes with the slow grinding of the slab beneath you. Flat on your back, you can feel your weapon digging into you. Your head is fuzzy and there is a dull ache across your legs as rain falls on your face from the trees above you. Could you describe your character, please?
All right. Let me set the scene here a little bit, because I think it's not just a matter of me lying on the ground. I think if someone were to walk by, they probably wouldn't even notice that I was there. I think would you? I think the undergrowth, the brush, everything that is around here has completely covered my form. Essentially, I am basically invisible except for a small lump, which is in fact the shape of the hat that I'm wearing. And as I sort of come to, I feel a series, in addition to like all of those senses of like, ow, something sore, ow, like I feel weird. I think the first thing that I feel in addition to those sensations is fear. There is an intense fear of something ready to attack. I have this image of a face, a round nose, flat nose, two dripping tusks, eyes with fire blazing in them, fur that looks more like spikes and daggers than it does hair, a demonic, monstrous boar. A sound that strikes fear, like it's somewhere between a rumble, a squeal, a screech, and a roar that it makes, that sort of mingles with the rumbling of the thunder as I awake with a start. And I think my fear of the boar is immediately replaced by a sudden panic as I realize that I can't seem to breathe. And there's like a moment of like thrashing and sort of clawing at my throat before I sort of realize, it probably lasts a minute or two before I realize I'm fine. The fact that I'm not breathing is in no way an issue except for psychologically. I feel a need to breathe, but I'm not suffocating, even though I can't breathe. I then try to like move myself, and as I try to consciously move, I find I can't. I have feelings that I should be able to move my muscles, but it's not until I think the movement that a movement actually happens. And again, strange sensations, strange tingling sensations. I also realize, I think after a few moments of sort of like looking down, trying to see through the layers of growth over my body, that I haven't blinked at all. I reach up and clear away some of the growth, and with it I can see scraps of fabric coming away, and underneath the fabric is a tarnished brass, what looks like a partial breastplate, partial rib cage. And I can see that there are pistons, that there are cogs, and interwoven among the pistons and cogs are vines, grasses, leaves, and fungus. There's some pink, some orange, there's some green fungus all webbed through. And the more I look at myself and the more I pull away the brush and sort of rise up, all of the undergrowth sort of falling away, most of my clothing is just dissolved. I can't remember how I got here. I can't remember my name. I can't remember why I can't breathe. I can't remember why I feel the need to experience any of these things. And as I reach up to my eyes and look at these metallic hands, again woven through with plants and fungi, I touch a hard metal eye. 2 circular metal eyes that do not need to blink. I let out a sound that, again, it is a familiar sound to me and yet unfamiliar. There's something that sounds processed about it as I let out a hello? Hello? Is anyone there? As though it's speaking through an old-timey speaker. I look around. I have no memory of who or what I am. I see, though, I have a satchel. I reach in, and there are probably what used to be papers in there, but they are, whether from just water damage, whether just age, they are worn through. I can tell it's going to take hours and hours to try and decipher anything, but the only thing that stands out is a billfold that seems to have mostly survived, however long I've been here, that has embossed on it the name Periwinkle. And as I read that word, Periwinkle, I'm not sure what language it is, I'm not sure how I understand it, but I look at it and I hear Periwinkle, and then I think, Reginald.
Can you
and I nod. Yes, go ahead.
Can you make me a sense check? We're going to do the first roll of the game.
Okay.
Anyone wishing Jeremy hadn't gone first?
So I'm going to roll 2d12s here, right?
2d12s, and let me know. So you need to know which one is your hope die and which one is your fear die.
Okay.
So make sure they stand out to you. And
then I add instinct.
Add instinct, yeah.
Okay. My hope die is a 6, and my fear die is a 4. Okay. With a +1 instinct, that is a 7.
Cool.
To the highest.
6, or did you say 6 and 4? So
yeah,
11?
6 and 4,
11.
and then +1 instinct.
Oh no, so you add all of them together. So
that's
you
an
take
11.
both of them, so
Excuse
it's an
me.
11. Lovely. That succeeds. So you succeed with hope. So you will take a hope point there, and as you get used to this new body, or what you assume is a new body, and you reach out into the surroundings, you hear footsteps, snuffling. There's something moving towards you. It's behind you.
I think as I register that information, I, without thinking, rise to my feet in one fluid motion and draw whatever was poking me in the back. There's like snapping sounds as I tear away vines, and then load a blunderbuss just positioned against a very tarnished, ancient-looking blunderbuss, like braced against my shoulder. Before I even realize, I am fully aiming, and I seem to have somehow stopped sensing with one eye. As I'm not sure how it stopped. I didn't close it, but I'm only seeing through one eye, aiming directly in the direction of whatever is coming. And then I look down. I think I realized I look down at myself. I go, oh! And then look up to see whatever this thing is.
As you look, you see a large humanoid figure, a furbolg with a big cow nose, she is wearing what looks like walking gear and is absolutely soaked through. They have this big floppy hat pulled down over their ears, and they have a tool belt with a chisel and a small brush attached to it, and they go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, love. Please."
Who goes there? Who are you?
I'm Galvora. I heard movement. I'm sorry. Please don't.
No. I'm terribly sorry. I honestly don't even know where this came from. I sort of like I try to think, what should I do with it? And just sort of like hold it like this, leaning over my shoulder.
Oh.
Say, hello, I'm afraid you've caught me at a rather inopportune time. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm not sure who I am, and I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be going.
Right. She
May
slowly
I ask,
sort of.
where are we?
Well, you're in the Shatterwood, love.
Does that ring any bells, or is that just a complete like, just over the head?
No, it doesn't.
The Shatterwood, you said?
It's you're on the Kinekozan Jags. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Jags.
That, however, does ring a bell.
Oh, yes, the Jags, of course, yes. The Shatterwood I'm not really placing, but Kinekozan Jags, that rings a proverbial bell. And I ting and ha!
Oh.
Realize, like, as I like an actual audible tinging sound rings out. Ah! Ah!
Right. Well, if you're all right, I'm gonna go because sorry, I thought you might be in trouble, but you seem.
Well, I'm not sure. Please, before you go. And I just set the gun down and I walk forward and say, "Have we met before?"
No.
Do you know anyone by the name of Periwinkle?
Periwinkle. I can't say I do. I'm a wanderer. I don't know many people.
I suppose I'm a wanderer as well, because I don't know anyone, including myself.
Oh, well, you're lucky. The dance is going to take us to Hognito pretty soon, so they'll get you fixed up, I'm sure. They'll know more than I do.
Well, my dear, lead the way. I grab my stuff.
Bring your big thing?
Yes, of course. I grab that. I am, at this point, only clad in a Tungade hat, which is sort of like a wide brim, conical West African style hat, and a pair of woven boots, both of which are heavily overgrown. Also, like there is fungus growing through all of it, so there are like little mushrooms and other fungi peeking out of my hat, and also the boots as I step forward, looking for all the world like some sort of metal mountain man. And I say, "Please lead the way."
Yes, it won't be long. And she takes you and you move through this forest, and it is thick, this wood. The ground is soft beneath your feet, but you can hear beneath you just the constant grinding of stone. And you feel strangely at home.
As I'm walking along, I think I feel like, as I'm walking, I feel like a tingling sensation as more and more I can see like the vines and the fungi start to shift. And I'm also like, again, walking is sort of like an automatic thing. Like I hear pistons like but also like I can feel the vines and everything tightening and loosening as I'm walking. I'm not sure how mechanically it's working. It's just like, I know I wanted to walk, so now I'm walking. And as soon as I think every time I think about it consciously, I like and end up stopping and can't quite move properly again. But I think as I'm walking and like more and more fungi are blooming out of me, I think a sense of deja vu. The idea that I've been walking through a lush environment, feeling incredibly connected to it, but also as I look down at my blunderbuss, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how to use it consciously, but instinctively I recognize that it is death. And I walk among, I feel a sense of like cognitive dissonance in that I feel incredibly connected to life. And yet all I carry with me is death.
Phenomenal. Sorry, you threw me there. That was beautiful. As you walk, Alvora is watching you sort of out the corner of her eye, and she just turns to you and goes, "What are you?"
My dear Galvora, I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that either.
And with that, the camera pulls up and we move rapidly to the base of the mountain. Days and nights and months go past, and we move towards a monastery of sorts, with a roof covered in moss and colourful gardens filled with every kind of mushroom and toadstool imaginable. As you enter the wooden doors, the central hall is alive with song, the vocals modulating in perfect unison, and the high vaulted ceilings tower above a choir of fungrills, small, some taller than others, some short, some squat, some skinny, but all brightly coloured, singing in a beautiful chorus. And slowly they finish up their repertoire, and a slender, faintly orange-skinned conductor stands at the front and smiles at the small mushroom people in front of them. Very, very good, Voices of the Mountain. Very good indeed. Now, don't forget, we have the festival in Hognito tomorrow, as their great slab begins its climb back to the peak. The other that is us. I'm really sorry. May I have a word? And Lou, could you describe your character for us?
We're in the mushroom section of the adventure, ladies and
We're in the
gentlemen.
mushroom section.
Amongst all of these mushroom people of various shapes and sizes and colours and things like that, you see one that is larger than the others. They are tall and broad and bright orange. If Google an orange pore fungus, if you want to get an idea of the kind of texture and colour we got going on there.
It's awesome.
There you go. And then, yeah, do it, because apparently, like, as a Shamini's face is anything to go by, then that, yeah, you're in for a treat. Yes, they look, they have that kind of lumbering kind of gait and dipped shoulders of a non-fungril, because they are half giant. And they kind of keep their eyes downcast as they walk over to the orange-skinned conductor.
My dear, you're trying so hard, but you're not in tune with the fungal network, my dear. You keep falling out of time. You're missing my cues. I understand. I know it's harder for you, but surely you can call on, the Mesolith or something to help you out a little.
I am trying to the one who spored me. I call and I try, and the song is in my head, but it's hard. I hear it in my ears, but not in my mind.
Right, your ear's not part of your mind? Because I hear things and I feel like they're in my mind. Look, okay, just match me. Here we go. You go. Okay, well, it was... Yes, you see, and that's why we put you on the harmony lines. So, look, the festival is... It's a big deal for the monastery. We don't go and mingle very much, and
I am so looking forward to seeing the mountain.
Yes, and about that, I have a special job just for you. You see, it's a very important job. Unfortunately, it will mean you won't be able to sing in the choir.
But I love to sing.
I know you do, and that is why I am apologising to you, but it is the most important job, and with your special connection, I thought it would be best for you to... You see, we have a visitor to the monastery, and I need someone to show them the mountain and the festival. I think...
I know so little of the mountain. That's why I am looking forward to seeing it. I can tell them what I have read in the books. Would you like that?
I would rather you let them spiritually connect with the mountain itself, rather than you know, the texts that you sort of, I know you like to read, and that's lovely, but we don't look for questions, we don't look for answers, we feel things. And you feel things more than most, you know, with your gifts.
I'm not sure what wisdom I have to offer, but I shall do my best for those that give me my home.
Yes, thank you, dear. And she sort of reaches up and touches your face. I do love you. You know that.
It has been said.
Okay, they're in the garden. Follow me. And she begins to sort of walk away and turns away from you quite quickly. And as she moves outside, there is a figure standing amongst the bright colours of the fungus. Shamini, would you like to describe your character?
Yeah, so Albert is a galapper, so a large tortoise-shaped creature. Quite sort of somewhat boringly dressed in sort of draped grey robes type thing. A very fetching hat, perched on the bald, scaly head, and carrying both some bags and pouches and things, and also a sort of walking stick / staff, which has got like a thinner stick, which is in fact a wand, like taped to the end of it, so you can like cast spells. Yeah. Am I here by myself?
You're here by yourself at the moment. What
Okay.
would you be doing in the fungus garden?
Poking the funguses.
As you do, you see a very small mushroom, all very light brown, sort of scurries up and goes, "Excuse me, sorry, excuse me, can I please don't push the mushrooms. You might release some spores."
What happens if you release some spores?
Well, that one is quite poisonous actually, so I would step far away.
What happens if you were, would you inhale the poison? Is it sort of skin based? Tell me everything.
Well, I'm just the gardener.
You don't know?
I am.
We should find out. Let's see.
No, please don't, please. And at this point, Lou, apologies. The other that is us. You exit and you see the galapper with at one with the earth, which is the name of the gardener that you would know. It's like, oh no, just trying to get in the way of between you and the mushroom. Like, no.
Do you know what that one does? Or
I tell you what, that one over there, it's not poisonous, and if you poke it, nothing will happen. Go poke that one.
Is the one that asks questions the one to whom I should speak?
Yes, my dear. That's Professor Abbott. Professor? Are you a professor yet? I can't remember. Have we said?
Yes. Let's go with yes. Yes.
Yes, Professor Abbott Augustine.
It is a pleasure to meet you, and I will assist you in any way that I can.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you with them. Bye-bye.
Okay. You're the guide? You're guiding me?
I have been charged with speaking to you about the mountain.
Good.
What is it that you would like to know?
Well, everything, yes.
Yes, I heard you asked many questions before. Are you someone that asks questions? Lots of people around here ask questions, but nobody actually wants answers. Are you one who finds answers?
Never really thought of it like that. I'm a botanical research wizard. So the questions and the answers sort of come together, and there's sort of an experimental period in the middle where you find out the answers to the questions and you sort of join them all up. There's a lot of like poking things, for example, and seeing what happens. So that's called the experimental. It's the experimental method. It's the experimental method. Oh, what do you do? Sorry, what was your name? I didn't catch it.
I am other, but I am also us.
Right, and what's your name?
I am other, but I am us.
So your name is Other, or your name is Us? Other Us.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Other Us. It's lovely to meet you.
I do not know what is happening.
Oh, would you like some help finding out?
I would like to help with the experimental phase.
Yes, Other Us. That is excellent. We are going to be doing lots of experiments. Now I do have a few baseline questions for you. Perhaps as we move towards the Shatterwood, you can answer some of my sort of initial research questions.
I will do whatever I can.
Excellent.
For the questions for the experimental phase.
And I think she gets out a notebook where she's pre-noted down some questions and sort of starts reeling them off at rapid speed.
Lovely. It's all fairly overwhelming, and as we pull back with the camera and move back to the mountain, and looking out over the expanse of slabs in front of you, listening to grinding and snapping, watching for that flash of arcane magic, wind blowing around you. It is a great time to be on the mountain. Over the precipice, you stand, you look down on the city of Hognito as the people prepare for the dawn of the ascent. There are balloons being attached to the necks of the pigs that live on the rooftops of the buildings, those that make their homes up there. Arcane practitioners are preparing magical displays. You can see images appearing in the sky, and you know that down there some of the older residents are conducting rituals to try and will the city to the top of the mountain. And while you know their city's path will likely lead them away from the peak, it will take you towards the guild of the here to there. This is your chance to prove to the guild that you are worthy, to be one of the few who study the mountain's movements, who take part in the dance. Michelle, would you like to describe your character?
Yes, I think that as you see that stretch of mountain leading down towards the city below, it would be very easy to miss the figure amongst the rocks until you spotted that one of these boulders had a little rock-like protrusion just squatting on top, sort of grey, craggy little protrusion with two very, very large and bulbous yellow eyes staring down at the city. And then you'd notice that that person was there as the protrusion shuddered, and the protrusion mutters to itself, "All right, focus, come on. Right. Okay." And the gaze turns back to what appears to be a random pile of pebbles on the ground as Platimandus looks down and then sighs with a kind of stands up, and rather less rock-like now, we see the form of a sort of quite roundish but quite knobbly toad-like person. And Platy kind of stretches out a bit after being squatted in that position for a very long time and goes, "Right, notes. A long tongue swats out of Platy's mouth and pulls back a satchel, which Platy starts rooting through, and he pulls out a notebook and starts meticulously writing out 15 pieces of assorted gravel, pebbles, and shrapnel, etc. observed for, sort of glances up at the sun, 13 hours. No movement observed. And they'll close that notebook and shove it back in the satchel and kind of look down at the pebbles. And then they'll wiggle the appendages of a webbed hand until the pebbles kind of form up into a little stick figure type shape. And Patty will mutter out the side of their mouth, "Oh, did you fast yourself, hen? You're going to have your breakthrough any time now." And Patty goes, "Aye. Thank you, I know I will. You're always there for me." Oh, and then she kind of wiggles her web fingers again, and the pebbles crash down to inertia. And she sighs again. I'm going to find something. It can't just be the big rocks that move, can it be? And she'll kind of sling her satchel on her back and hop down from the boulder onto the path.
Lovely. As you hop down, you begin making your way down towards the great slab that houses the city of Hognito. And within that slab, the iron and blue railway creaks above. And Folarin, would you like to describe your character and how they are preparing for the festival, the Dawn of the Ascent?
Yes. So you will see a sort of very small, sort of no more than like 5'2", very slender, sort of black man who appears to be sort of predominantly human, other than very feline ears and sort of bright yellow feline eyes that are sort of darting around somewhat predatorily. Wearing a sort of quite a fine jacket that is old but well looked after, and sort of clothes that suggest that this jacket has been handed down to him, and that the rest of his sort of apparel is built around this outfit, so as to make him both appear as grand as possible, whilst also kind of looking as unassuming as possible. But it kind of allows him to sort of enter into fairly respectable spaces as well as not so respectable spaces. And speaking of a lack of respectability, he is preparing for the upcoming festivities by basically sort of packing his sort of bag and sort of jacket with tat, knickknacks, things that he is going to present to anyone who will listen as either of spiritual or economic or any kind of value whatsoever, such that he will be able to sell it, trick, deceive, flim-flam. This is a man who does not necessarily care what the con is. He will simply find what is most valuable to you and offer it to you for a price.
Where would you be doing this?
Wherever the most people are, especially if there are people who are unlikely to know any better. Basically, where are the tourists at?
Yeah, there's a bar called the Cattle and Sheep near the entrance to currently where the slab faces the base of the mountain. And the bartender there, Jura, she knows of you, but has a bit of a soft spot for you, and so is unlikely to kick you out. It's a safe place for you to go and prepare and maybe find a mark or two.
Fantastic. In which case, I think I'll kind of walk in and say, "Dear my friend, how does it go?"
Hello, OG.
How are we? Are we doing well?
Customers again?
Swindle? I am offended that you would even use such a word around me. I do not swindle, my dear Dura. I simply provide services for people, and if they are unhappy with the way that those services have been rendered, well, that's not my issue.
Fine, just not in the bar, all right? Just take it outside.
I shall. Your wish is very much my command.
Also, you have to buy something.
Oh, Yeah, all right. What's the cheapest beer you got on tap?
Fine. She pulls you a pint of hog ale. There we go. And
Okay.
bangs it down in front of you. You're having a pint though.
Of course. Why would I have anything less? He throws down coin, takes up his pint, takes a sip, very sort of performatively. The finest ale that money can buy. You really have outdone yourself with this one.
I do my best. So
Then I'm
here for the
Oh, sorry.
festival then, Jura. You're not. I'm Jura.
You're Jura.
OG, here for the festival.
Oh, of course I'm here for the festival. It is a wondrous thing when the stones dance, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Absolutely. And all the tourists that come in for the dawn of the ascent, OG?
I think it is a wonderful thing that we are able to share our ancient and historic culture with people who are not so familiar with the workings of the stones. And if they want to share their coin with me as I educate them on the wonders and mysteries of this world that we are so fortunate as to be born into, then so be it.
OG, look, and she sort of leans in. Just be careful this time, all right? It's all a bit weird, what with the disappearances and stuff. And I know you like to live life a bit on the edge, so not too close to the edge, eh?
I will try my best, but
just think what your grandma would want.
I think as you say that, you kind of see his mask slips for just a second as he sort of almost has to brush past the emotion and then goes, "As you wish. I'll look after myself."
Thank you. I'm gonna go sort some stuff in the back. And she heads to the back of the bar.
I think he'll turn and just kind of scan the room to see if there's anyone who looks like they might be a good mark.
There are definitely people you've never seen before, and you're around Hognito a lot. There's a couple by the door, humans, both sat there with fancy glasses of wine. You can tell that was not the cheap stuff that they've ordered. There's a couple of people at the bar, sort of regulars who, a couple of them side-eye you a little bit. You've probably had dealings with them in the past. One man looks like he's eyeing you up and down in a sort of, do I know them? Do I not? And yeah, there's various people around. There's a group in the corner, sort of heavy cloaks, look like they've just come in from travelling.
Interesting. I think I'm gonna sort of wink at the people who have sort of seen me before, who've had some dealings with me. Try as much as possible to avoid the gaze of the person who's trying to discern whether or not they know me. And then I'm trying to decide between the travelers in the cloaks and the people who have the expensive wine. Between those two groups, who looks like they might be an easier mark?
Make a... is this going to be perceive or sense? What do we think? What's the difference between perceiving and sensing? Let's go sense. I feel like it's a sense thing, which is your instinct. Okay. So make a roll for me.
Okay, and I have a +0 to this. Oh, hello. That is an 11 with hope. Oh, no, with fear. 11 with fear.
Okay, so with fear, am I going to make a move? I'm not going to take... So when a player rolls with fear... that is enough, by the way. So you do succeed. You take a look, and the couple with the expensive glasses, they have, lush bags at their side. They're not necessarily the most secure lush bags at their side. However, when you look at the group of the travellers, you see shapes under the cloaks that indicate that they might be concealing weaponry. And you sort of feel that maybe you should be leaning towards the couple if you were to try something. But as you succeeded with fear, a grizzled dwarf sat at the bar with a monocle looks at you and goes, "I've seen your face before."
Well, that is very possible, as I am a local to the area. So you might have seen me, but may I inquire as to your name?
No, you may not, but I tell you I do know, and that's Carmela.
Carmela, can't say that I'm familiar with that name.
No, you wouldn't be, would you? I bet you do it all the bloody time. You took her to the edge of the slab, telling her she was going to have some kind of spiritual experience. You swindled her, and now no one knows where she is. So you tell me, what have you done?
Well, here is the thing. I am very sorry to hear about your friend Carmela. That is a very unfortunate set of circumstances. But I must say, I do not know her, never have heard of her, don't know that name, and cannot be held accountable for anything that has taken place.
Make a deceive check for me.
Okay.
Is it a check or is it just an action roll? I don't know.
What a great question.
Is it a move?
Is it a move?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'm trying to work out, because I do have. Hold on. I feel like I have a thing that I can do here, because where is it? Oh, I might do this later. I have Death Deceiver, so I can spend a hope to take advantage on a roll. I have to deceive or trick someone into believing a lie that I tell them. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Let's do it. Let's go.
So
Okay, so advantage in Daggerheart is you still roll your 2d12, but you roll a d6 along with that. So
yes.
So you will add a d6 along with what? And I'm going to say that the DC for this, I'll tell you before, is 15. It's average check, but you 15. Will need a 15.
Cool. And then I'm rolling a presence. So that's a +3.
Yes, with advantage. So 2d12, a d6 +3, and then still let me know if it's with hope or with fear.
Wow. Oh gosh, yeah, okay. That is a 12, 23.
Okay.
With fear, though.
Okay, I'm going to take a fear token for that. So I take a little token, and I'm just going to put it in my little pot that I've got, and then I can use these tokens later on when I want to make a move for maybe adversaries or things move the story in a particular way. But I'm choosing not to use it now, which is part of the mechanic. So that being said, he looks at you and goes, "Must have been someone else. Keeping my eye on
you. Know what? It must have been, and I will keep a lookout, because I do not like the sound of this fellow. He sounds very disreputable, and I very much believe in keeping the Jags clean, secure, and safe. So if I see him, I'll let you know."
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Are you moving over to the table with...
I think I will move over to the table. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on this guy as well. But I'm going to move over to the sort of lushes and just go, "Well met, travellers. That looks like a very fine glass of wine you got there. You celebrating something?"
"Oh, well, only the best. We've never been to the Jags before, and we thought we'd go for a cycle round, maybe reach the top. Who knows? The ascent tomorrow. Oh. Very exciting, very exciting."
"You've got to get to the top. It is gorgeous. Truly one of the most breathtaking views that you've ever seen in your entire life. Now, here's my question. What brings you here exactly? Is it just the views, or is there a business pleasure?"
Well, you see Davy here, and the female taps the male. He retired recently, and, he's got a bit more cash, and we thought, let's, treat ourselves. We're treating it like a cruise. I know, ridiculous, on a slab, a cruise on a rock, wild, but we're crazy like that.
You know what? I can see it in your eyes, because you know what? To some people, what is crazy, to me, I see the heart, the soul, the spirit of an adventurer. Right? And here's the thing about adventurers. Adventurers, you can't just go out into the world unprepared, because as we all know, being prepared is the Boy Scouts marching song. So what I'm going to ask of you is, perhaps, would you do me the favor of taking, and he just pulls out like a bunch of adventurers shit. just
Excellent.
shoes, ropes, blah blah blah, just like a little pack, and he's just go, would you do me the honor, the pleasure of perhaps taking this off my hands, just so that I know that as you embark upon this next adventure of your life, that you are prepared?
Oh, I mean, what is this? And sort of holds up a rope and is just like, what do you do with it?
That is truly top of the line climbing gear.
We're not climbers. I don't think we're doing climbing. Will we? Davey, are we doing climbing? And he doesn't say a word, just sort of shakes his head.
You shake your head now. You say you're not climbers, but here's the thing: you are adventurers. You are going out and embarking upon a voyage the likes of which perhaps no one has ever seen before. So, just in case, have it with you, because you never know what might happen.
I do like this. And she leans over and picks up a sort of metal cup that looks very large and very heavy, and goes, oh, what's this for?
That, my dear, is a top-of-the-line precision hunter's mug.
Hunter's mug. Oh, yeah. Davey, please can we buy it? And he just sort of nods and is like, what would you like?
I don't know if I can maybe use the previous role, but I want to get a feel for like how much money they have, because it's pretty much as expensive as what I think they will give me for it.
Yeah, it seems like they have a lot of money. I've also forgotten how money works. I know originally it was just in handfuls and things.
It's handfuls,
but,
yeah.
Is it still that? Because I thought they were changing it.
I think it's handfuls, but I think you can say specific amounts, but then you're still in like a handful versus two, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. They look rich. They are, you're getting a rich vibe, and from your previous thing, you know, that she's wearing very thick traveler's cloak. It looks luxurious. It doesn't quite have like branding on it, but
it basically does.
Maybe
I'm gonna say to them, now here's the thing with this mug. It was, of course, created by the world famous mug smith Daniel Byzantine, and he when he created,
I have heard of him. Yes. I think I read his book or something. Yeah.
Well, exactly. You might well have done, because he, of course, has since passed, and so his mugs are something of a sort of limited edition now. So I would say, you know, I want you to have it. It was of, you know, serious sentimental value to me, but I'm happy to give it to you for 50 gold.
50. Oh, 50. Make a charm roll for me.
Fucking hell. 19 with fear.
Okie dokie. With fear. Definitely succeeds. I'm gonna take a token. Actually no, I'm not. I'm gonna make a move.
Oh gosh.
But none of you are going to see it. It will come up later.
Ooh.
50. Davey, get the money. Get it. I want it. And he just pulls out, you know, a full-on fistful of gold coins and goes, take it and leave us alone, please. She's excited enough.
I want you to have an absolutely fantastic rest of the day. You are gentleman, scholar, adventurer.
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful man, wonderful lady. Love you.
Oh, love you too. And she goes, I'm going to put my wine in the mug. And then just starts like pouring her glass in. And with that, we will jump forward to the day of the festival. Now, before we get to that,
have wine mugs caught on?
Wine mugs, you know, they're great. This has water in it. It's water in my mug. What I want to check and see how you all feel about this. This is very collaborative. I've forgotten what's your character's name, Jeremy? Reginald. Where do you think Reginald would be staying? When he came down to Hognito, do you think he was put up in an inn? Do you think he tried to stay with Galvora, who, bearing in mind, is a wanderer, so might have wandered off at some point? But
you're muted, Jeremy.
He is also, thank you. He is also a wanderer. So I think my first question is, do the buildings look familiar? Like as I arrive here, does even the style of them look like something that I'd be familiar with?
In Hognito, that's a great question. They ring true to a style of building that feels right to you, but this is a city. And in your head, you've never seen anything this big, this imposing. And the way, as this, in your time there, you notice as the slabs move, the houses move along the slabs. There are these grooves and ditches, and the districts of this city move around like puzzle pieces, like a sliding puzzle, in order to balance the slab as it moves up and down the mountain. If you inquire about it, people will talk about the Jawbone incident, where a city flipped on the mountain, killing hundreds of thousands. And this was eons ago. It was hundreds of years ago. But people talk about it with fear, and Hognito has been built to avoid that kind of catastrophe. So the districts shift where they are in relation to the slab throughout the day, throughout the course of every month as it moves around the thing, But yeah, the style of Hognito, it still feels very wanderers who have set up camp somewhere, but it's just vast. And the people here are incredibly resourceful. The rooftops of all the buildings are where the hogs live. Almost every rooftop in the whole city has pigs that are there for farming, milking, for slaughter. That is the trade of Hognito, and they are treated like royalty up there. The idea being that when the slab gets to the top of the mountains, the pigs have the best view, and people almost worship the pigs in Hognito.
Okay, so I think all of this is just such an overwhelming rush for Reginald. I think that I upon arriving at the city, I probably travel around with Galvora for a little bit, and then at some point I just get completely distracted and I'm just wandering off on my own. And I think I have to ask, does the name Jawbone jump out at me at all?
Jawbone rings a bell. There's something... every time you try and put a memory to anything that sort of lights a fire within you, everything's a bit fuzzy. It doesn't quite make sense. And with Jawbone, the name makes sense. It's not a place. It shouldn't be a place. That feels more like a person. And you can't get your head around how that disconnect is making sense. In fact, actually, I tell you what, make me what have we got? What are our options? A recall check, which is a knowledge roll.
Okay. I do not have good knowledge, so let's find out. Okay. My fear die was a 6. My which is higher than my hope die, which is a 5. So, and I have a -1 to knowledge, so that is a 10 in total.
Okay, it's not quite clicking. Jawbone is something in your past, but you can't put your finger in it.
I think I feel incredibly restless, but also incredibly fascinated by everything, because all of this is like, it's almost like I'm a baby. I feel like an adult, but it's like a baby in the sense that like I have all of what feel like these synapses ready to connect to memories, but there's nothing there. And so everything I see is like, oh, good golly, as I'm walking around. And I think I completely lose track of time and eventually reach a point where my body just stops moving. And I'm just sort of standing on a street, like probably in an alley, just, and I just stop moving. And I just stand there for about 8 hours, unable to move, just sort of like fading in and out of like awareness of the world around me, at least consciously. But I think unconsciously, all of my fungi like sprout and get much more like prominent during that time. And then they sort of die down again as I suddenly begin moving again. And I think I think while I'm standing there's like a memory that this is kind of similar to sleeping, but I don't know. I can't go to sleep. Like I can't actually lose consciousness. I remember that that sleeping was something that I could do at one point. I remember dreaming, and I think dreaming is the thing that really sticks out because every time I have even a snippet of a memory, it feels like a dream that I'm trying to remember, but I can't. And it's just like right there right out of the reach of my fingertips. It feels like it's right on the tip of my brain.
And
I think that's how I spend. Say again?
You have that feeling a lot in Hognito. The sound of the pigs on the roof, the number of times you flick your eyes up expecting something running at you.
Yeah, I think when I find out about the hogs, I spend a lot of time scouring. Like I spend days scouring the top of building that I can reach, that I'm like can climb up to and like sneak up on and look around, trying to find any signs of that boar. And I think the same thing keeps happening where I just keep searching, and then the same thing happens where like I freeze partway through climbing a building, and I'm just there for another 8 hours just to post it up on the side of a building before I suddenly again. And I think by the third time I start to realize, okay, this is a cycle I have to go through, and I start like deliberately finding spots where I won't be quite so conspicuous and I can just sort of hang out. But I don't even think I get a room. I think I just walk around, stop, walk around, stop until, days.
For the sake of bringing people together into the same scene, I will say that one of your favorite chill out places is the alleyway next to the cattle and sheep.
Sounds great.
The bar that Jura owns, and that OG is a semi-regular of. And again, just in terms of bringing people together, if everyone is okay with this, Platty, I will say that when you reach Hognito, you decide that you need to find a room for the night, and the cattle and sheep is the one that is right there. And so we will jump to the day of the festival, and everyone is up before sunrise, and you hear these drums begin as the festivities start. Before the sun comes up, the mountain is quiet. There is no movement. Everything is still. It is one of the few peaceful times. All you can hear is the faint snuffling of a pig on the roof. And the smell of bacon and there's a smell of like fresh milk is wafting into the rooms of the cattle and sheep. And I will say, OG, are you happy to be staying there as well for purposes of bringing people together?
More than happy.
Lovely stuff. Thank you, everyone. OG, Platty, you come down, and there are a few other people grabbing breakfast and things, getting ready for the festival. Jura is there, bags under her eyes. She's clearly been up for hours and hours and hours, sort of serving food to people at breakfast time.
I think Platty eyeballs one of the bacon rolls and is heading in that direction, and then has a little hesitation about the snuffling that they heard above them all night, and is like, I'll have some eggs.
Yeah, some people
eggs.
Prefer that.
Eggs,
I don't eat
please,
the bacon
Jura.
either. And she makes you up some eggs and puts them into a roll for you.
Thanks, Jura. Oh, you're so nice, Jura. You're so nice.
I mean, I kind of have to be, Platty. I mean, you know, hospitality, isn't it?
I suppose you have to be, don't you, for your job?
Talking of it, that robot thing was outside again. I said if he wanted to come in, but he's just waiting out there. I feel bad for him. Do you want to go see if he wants a sandwich or something?
What, me?
Well, yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. I can hop on over.
Thanks. I'm busy here, and I worry about people are going to start setting off fireworks and things, and he's not.
Oh, he might get frightened, mightn't he? Yeah, I'll go see if he wants a sandwich. And I think Platty will hop over and kind of peer poking around the side, and I think you just see the bulbous yellow eyes before you see anything else, just poking around the side of the wall.
So if you're currently looking at Reginald, I think what you would see is that sometime within the last few days, Reginald would have he would see people eating, and they would have memories of eating, but there would be no inclination to there's an intellectual oh yeah, I want to do that. There's never been an actual desire to do it. What has been happening is during the periods where Reginald has been stopping, as the fungus sort of spreads off of their body, it extends onto any sort of plant life or anything that is dead or decaying, and is growing all over it. And then as he sort of comes to, it sort of recedes back onto him. And so I think what you would see is Reginald just sort of standing next to the dumpster with a carpet of fungus having grown, tendrils and a whole carpet of fungus having extended off of Reginald's body into the dumpster. And Reginald is just sort of standing there absent-mindedly humming some tune that sounds old. It just sounds like a very old tune.
I think the eyes start to recede, and then Platty's like, no, Jura asked me to do this, right?
Who goes there?
Hello, I'm Platty. Platty
Hello.
Madness.
I'm Reginald.
Are you,
Reginald Periwinkle, at your service.
Oh, it's a great name. Are you alright with them mossies and things all over you? Do you need a hand?
Well, frankly, I'm not sure if all right is an experience I've had since waking up. I can merely say
I feel
I'm not
the
actively
same.
in danger as far as I can tell.
Oh, I feel the exact same most mornings, Reginald. But to be honest, Jura's a very good cook, and she always cheers me right up with her breakfast. If you fancy some.
Breakfast? Yes, I remember breakfast. Well, here's the thing. I can't remember how to, what's the word? Eat?
Right. Is that something you've got to remember usually?
Well, these days, yes. I'm not sure if it was before.
I see.
To be a bit clearer, I recently had an experience where I awoke in a forest, a rather large forest. The name, and I look through my very badly damaged notebooks to where I scrawled down the name of the place. The Shatterwood. I woke in the Shatterwood with no memory of who I am, what I am, or how I got there. And, well, a very nice Firbolg named Galvora brought me here, and I've just been taking in the sights and sounds and smells of the city. Funny thing, actually, about the smell. I can't smell anything, and yet I could describe to you exactly what the city smells like.
Listen, Reginald, I know exactly what you're going through, because my cousin Flippy had their hen do just last week, and when I woke up, I had no idea where I was or what was going on or what I was smelling. It was just like that. And do you know what? A good sandwich really set me on the right path, and I'm sure you'll remember how to eat them if you come inside and maybe stop sucking on that bin. Maybe.
I do my best. I'll be honest with you. It seems to happen whether I want it to or not. But I'm going to try. Just a moment. And I'd like to try and focus to try and retract all of the fungal network, I guess, that I have extended, all fungal cultures or whatever that I've extended into the dumpster. I'd like to just retract that if possible.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do it.
I'm gonna make me. What fun roll can we do?
Yeah, what roll's that, Emily, to retract fungus from a bin?
That is quite clearly
instinct. It could be instinct.
I think control. There is
a
nice roll called control.
Can I ask before you roll it? Can Platty try to use their Earth Sorcerer power to try and help shift it off?
Yeah. What would you like to do? Absolutely.
I think there's a move for helping somebody in this game.
So you spend a hope.
Spend a hope. I'll do that.
Just describe how you're helping, and I will let you flavor it with your magic, however you would like. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that Platy's gonna be like, let's just get you off that bin. It's looking a bit fusty, and they'll just do that same wiggling of the webbed fingers as if to kind of like just gently encourage the moss to get off of the bin.
Love that. So yeah, make your control roll with, so that's your finesse, but with advantage. So add the d6 as well.
Okay.
Not to be too teachery about it, but do you not need to roll to be able to give?
Do you?
Help in this game? I feel like I read that somewhere, but I'm not sure if I'm making that up.
No. Let's see.
Don't remember.
This is the moment, everyone, where we learn the game. Let's.
Oh yeah, I roll the d6 advantage die.
Okay, so you do the. Let me just see. Help an ally. Here we go. You spend 1 hope to help an ally. Don't refresh. Who is making an action roll? When you do this, describe how you're helping, and you roll the d6 advantage. So that's it. Yeah, that is.
All right.
Yeah.
A 2.
So you get to add a 2.
I rolled a so plus the 2, that is 18.
Oh, with hope.
And my fear die was higher, so I rolled with fear.
Okie dokie. What am I gonna do?
I think would you like me to describe how it is like the fear?
Please.
I think there's a genuine sense of like, there's a sense that whatever there is a me that I have only the vaguest bits of contact with. I think even though I feel as though I am me currently, there is another me that seems to exist just out of reach. And in this moment, as I recognize, like, I used to like the sandwich. As Platy is suggesting this, I remember eating sandwiches. I remember that being great. And I can't, though, bring myself to do it. And I'm like, if I don't manage this, I could lose everything. This could be it. This could be the end of whoever I was if I don't manage to pull myself back and eat this sandwich. And so I think that fear is like, what pulls me back into myself.
That's a lot to put on a sandwich.
That is a lot to put on a sandwich. But you know what? Jura makes a great sandwich.
I believe in Jura sandwiches.
I will also say, Platy, a word stuck in your head as Reginald was talking to you there. And it just sort of, you were like, I've heard that name recently. Galvora. It rings a bell. You're like, I've read about Galvora. And can you make me a recall?
Yes, I can. Recall. That's knowledge. Okay. Oh, that fell off the map. Let's try again. Okay. I rolled 3 hope, 7 fear, plus 1. So 11. With fear as the highest.
You think she's something to do with the Guild of Here to There?
Oh. So I think once the mosses are detached, I'll say, did you say Galvora? Is that a friend of yours?
Yes, I don't know much about her. Simply that she is a wanderer who I met out in the Shadowwood. She seemed rather scared of this death-dealing stick I carry. I believe it's called a blunderbuss. And, well, she brought me here, and I haven't seen hide nor hair of her since shortly after arriving. Honestly, I'm not sure who left whom, but, I haven't seen her in days. She's gone.
I actually haven't seen her in weeks.
Haven't seen her in weeks, even. I forgot what a week was until this moment. Thank you for reminding me.
I had the same thing after the hen do. Yeah.
Let's get that sandwich. As I'm like walking alongside you.
Let's. So you met her in the Shadowwood, you said?
Yes, just wandering around. She was the first thing I met, really, I encountered after I awoke.
Well, I wonder if she's there a lot. I should visit the Shadowwood, you know. I've not been. Maybe I'd run.
Do you know anything about it?
I think it's kind of got woods and it's a bit shattered. I don't know. I'm more interested in the rocks, really.
That does seem accurate. Rocks! Yeah. The rocks were shifting there. I noticed the rocks were shifting and shaking.
Aye, they do that. Aye, it's actually a particular interest of mine. I'm something of a scientist. Well, aspiring scientist.
Really? What's that?
It's like someone who's hoping to do science
And science would be, in this context.
Oh, well, it's this thing, right, where kind of an establishment gives you backing and encourages you to go out into the world and kind of do some research, do some experiments, do some observations, and find out about how the world works. And I do all of the observations and stuff already, but to be a scientist, you need to be to be recognized by a guild or a university. So that's what I'm working towards, eh?
Oh.
And
So you're going to figure out how the world works with the backing of one of these guilds?
That's exactly it. Well, hopefully. I've been working very hard. But you know this Galvora, I feel like I've heard her name associated with the guilds. That's why I was wondering if you knew where she was. Or where I could find her.
If you're in luck, I think there's a chance I might be able to find her after we get this sandwich inside me. I'm very good at tracking. That's one thing I know. I'm very good at finding things and finding people.
As you're having this conversation, OG, you overhear the end of this as well as you're having your breakfast sandwich.
I'm just gonna slide on over there and go, my friends. It sounds like you're looking for something. Am I correct?
Someone, in fact.
Someone. And who might it be that you are looking for? I do apologize. I do realize I'm being very forward, but it occurs to me that I might be able to be of assistance, see.
That might be nice. It's a friend. Well, it's not my friend. I don't really. It's Reginald's friend, Galvora.
Yes, a Firbolg named Galvora.
Do I know Galvora?
Make a recall check for me. Recall seems to be the history equivalent, I think.
That's what it seems
Remembering
like.
stuff.
Recall.
While they're doing that, I just tromp up to what's the owner's name again?
Jura.
I think I critted 2 9s.
You have crit. Okay. So, I think you gain a hope, and you're also able to remove a stress if you had any, but I don't believe you have any. So just so everyone's aware, when you crit, you gain a hope and you remove a stress point, which are things you can take to do abilities and if you get attacked and things like that. So first of all, I will say, Reginald, yes, absolutely. Jura sort of winks at you and gives you another sandwich and is like, good luck. Just throw it down, you see what happens. And OG, the name Galvora, you've seen that name very recently on posters all around. Galvora's gone missing.
See. Well, my friends, I do not wish to be the bearer of bad news, but I do believe that I am familiar with that name and that Galvora is unfortunately one of our dearly departed, one of the people who seems to have gone missing as of late.
Really?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Oh no.
Jura chimes in. It's like, yeah, it's a bad business. There's 5 of them so far. Just vanished. No one knows where they went. I mean, Galvora, she's a wanderer, but I don't know. The here to theirs are worried.
Do we know where they were last seen?
Galvora, OG, with a crit. You lost the last thing that you've read about was that she was going to Lake Ladenscree, which is not a lake. It is a lake of pebbles and stones that moves up and down and round the mountain like a continuous avalanche.
Sure. I think I'll sort of say to my companions, well, I don't know about the rest of them because to make it very clear and to say publicly for the record, I am unfamiliar with any of the individuals who have gone missing up until now. The only one that I happen to know is Galvora, and I do not know her personally, but I do have reason to believe that she was last spotted at the lake of whatever Emily just said.
Ladenscree.
Oh,
and I could escort you there.
I mean, I think I know where it is. But the more the merrier, actually. Especially if they're here to there are worried. Well, they're very important people. I wouldn't want to keep them in
Who are the here to
suspense.
there?
Oh, it's a guild. It's the best guild.
Really? And
Hi
you've
there.
said that word several times now. Can someone explain to me what a guild is? And I guess I just like start walking in the direction of where I assume the lake is without even like pausing. I just start walking out holding the sandwich.
I'm gonna pause this conversation here and cut to the other that is us and Abbott, as it is before sunrise on the day of the dawn of the ascent, and you have been tasked, the other that is us, of taking this strange galappa to Hognito to experience the festival. You will not get to sing in the choir, but you get to show them around and walk up and travel the mountain with them and answer all their questions about the spirituality of the mountain. And I will say, as you arrive, you see that, Abbott, I mean, the mountain is still, it is beautiful. You can see sections of the wood, and you can see flowers blooming all over. And then in front of you is this huge city. It is imposing. There is very little that is natural in this city, apart from hearing all the squealing of little pigs on the rooftops.
I think Abbott, she's just sort of gazing up. Wow, it's big, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. The mountain is enormous in scope and scale. It is it's I know not what is bigger than it in the world, though I am sure there is much that I do not know.
There's definitely a research question in that. What things are bigger than the mountain? I'm going to put a pin in that one. It would take a while to sort of search the whole thing, wouldn't it?
Yes, I'm sure that if you were looking for something specific, it would be also because of the moving, because the rocks, they do move around.
I had to write all that all in my research grant. It was very important. Do you happen to know, you're from those religious folks? Right, I'm looking at where does the god live? Where would one?
They look very uncomfortable with like being asked direct questions about where the god lives. They sort of kind of shuffle their very, very large feet. How big is a galappa, Shamini?
I'm imagining like not like human height, but like way wider, because it's like whole shell situation.
So shorter than average. Okay, because I'm 8 feet tall.
Yeah, shorter
so
than you.
Like
yeah.
By quite a lot. Okay, so some like towering over. Okay, so yeah, they kind of look uncomfortable, asking like, well, there's some that say that the mountain is all around, and that it will always asks questions, and they say that it has wants and cares and dreams, but I don't know.
Is there an address, a sort of specific address for the god,
I know that the order built the order at the base of the mountain because they said that is what the mountain would want. I do not know if it does not want things built on it, or whether it is in one place, or whether it is it at all. Some people say that they can hear it talking, but I wouldn't know about such a thing.
As you say that, the other is us. You just hear in the back of your head, "Welcome home. Enjoy the festival." And that's it.
Who is there?
No response.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Well, quite a lot of people. I can see in the city.
People are walking around with sort of torches and things. Some people have magical aids to see, because it is still dark. You can just about see the sky starting to change colour in the distance.
It's a bit broad for a research question, but we can pursue it.
My home.
Again, specific. We could investigate. Yes.
Is there an exploration phase?
Experimentation, potentially. Yes.
Yes.
We'd have to design the methodology, but if these are the kinds of questions that you're interested in, I recommend keeping a nice little notebook, and then you can write them all down.
I would like a notebook.
We can get you a notebook. Excellent.
Yes.
Right. To-do list. Research speciation in the Shatterwood. Find God. Get notebook. Excellent.
With that, you see the sky becomes a little bit pink, and you start to hear a vague creak from beneath your feet. And Abbott, you have never experienced this before, and you feel a bit uneasy as you start to feel a very faint movement.
It's happening.
Do not be alarmed. It is the mountain.
I have read so much about this.
The drumming in the streets gets louder and louder. You start hearing cheering, and people are pouring out of taverns and homes, and everyone is rushing into the streets. There are balloons, music starts playing, the drumming turns into this joyful noise, and people start flocking towards the centre of the city. People are just pushing past you, trying to get in.
They create the music. The music heralds the movement of the mountain, and people rejoice in it.
You think God is doing the movement personally?
Just from the order believes that the mountain has its own wants and needs and cares, but I do not know whether the parts of the mountain move of their own volition or that of a greater being, but they would say that the Emily. Sorry, before I establish something, because obviously you sent me a private message about these things. Is this something that is talked about in the wider?
The thing you are thinking of, people talk about it. It is believed to be true around the mountains. So the residents of the mountain most likely talk about it, either as a rumour or as something they say they've seen, but it wouldn't necessarily be known to outsiders as much. But it's not forbidden to talk about it.
Okay, cool. I was just checking I wasn't going to break some sort of sacred.
No.
Yeah. There are those that believe, of which my order are multitude, that the mesolith is a moving being, that the mountain is alive and the mountain is whole, and all of its parts are connected, and it has many questions, and it does what it will.
The mesolith is like the god, which is like the whole mountain.
It is worshipped as a god. The mountain, yes, this is true. This is believed.
How does one get in touch?
There is written in books that I have read that there are those that can commune, that there are some that are chosen. They are the voices of the mountain who can talk to it, like my people can talk amongst themselves, consciousness to consciousness.
Interesting. Chosen ones, you say. Interesting. Okay, let's add that to the scientific to-do list.
I would love to know why and how and what and why.
That's science.
I would like to do science.
As you exclaim that science, I'm going to say you walk past the cattle and sheep as the three of you exit. And you don't have to talk to each other, but you are now all moving with the throng of people towards
we're kind of being swept along a little bit, right? Yeah.
The centre of the city. But Platty, you do hear "that's science" as you leave.
I think Platty sort of casts around. Like, it sounds like you're not the only one who's having science explained to them today. The originals.
I would like to. Is there a roll that I can make as we're walking along to try and track? Because I feel like I am very even as I'm even as we're like getting swept along by people, and there's all this stimula. There is still like the first person that I've met is now apparently in danger, which is like the closest thing other than these people that I've just met moments ago to a lifeline that I have. Can I roll, let me see, on my character sheet, I have an ability called Gifted Tracker. So, I can make a spell cast. I can, say again?
Sorry, no, you keep going and I'll...
I can make a spellcast roll to to either track or ask you a question that I'd be able to learn about a specific creature or group of creatures based on signs of their passage. And if I spend a hope before the roll, I can double my spellcast trait as the modifier.
Yes, I will say. So that means you just roll spellcast. You don't have to roll a particular trait, or
it would be I would
associate a trait with it.
In my case, it's agility. So I would roll agility. But I'm gonna spend a hope because I'm immediately like, no, this is one of the only things I've discovered since I've been here.
Go for it.
I would like to,
Let's do maneuver then, to try and as you're being moved along. Does it have to be your?
It has to be agility specifically.
It has to be an agility thing.
That's my spellcast
Can
ability.
you read it to me again? Sorry, just so I'm...
Make a spellcast roll to track or ask the GM one question you'd be able to learn about a specific creature or group of creatures based on signs of their passage.
Yeah,
if you spend a hope...
You just add your agility to a roll. I don't think it needs to be sprint, leap, or maneuver, because in my mind that doesn't work. But if that's your ability modifier, then you add that. That's fine.
And I'd like to spend a hope to double that, so I get a +4 to this.
Absolutely, go for it. And you're looking for signs of Galvora or anything that might lead you towards where she was.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. That is a 13 on the dice. My hope die is higher, so I'm rolling with hope.
Nice,
and plus a 4 is 17.
17. You do see, as you're being pushed along, there are sort of notice boards up, and there are a selection of faces on the notice boards of the missing, of the people who have disappeared recently. Galvora is sort of on the second level, but you do see sort of sketch of her there.
Well, can I ask a specific question?
Yes.
Because Galvora is a wanderer, and I imagine that a lot of times when people are wandering through places, they will, especially if they're like exploring, they need to find their way. They will mark stuff, like they'll mark a tree or they'll mark something else. I imagine Galvora might have developed her own specific marks. As we're traveling along, do I see any such mark on any buildings or anything nearby as we're heading more in the direction of where they were last seen?
You don't see any in the city, but you do recall when you were traveling back with Galvora from the Shatterwood, she was marking, and you can remember the shape. It was sort of a greater than symbol that she was carving into trees, putting on rocks and things like that. And she would make a note in a little book that she had whenever she made one of those marks. And as you're moving through, you see one of these signs, and it does say Galvora of the Guild of the Here to There, last seen, and the date is 2 weeks ago.
I would like to then turn to both Platty and OG and be like, well, I don't think that we're going to be able to find easy signs of them in the city. I've been looking round. However, if she ventured beyond the city limits, she does have a marker that she puts on trees and other landmark objects that she can mark effectively. And I do think that if I spy it, I will be able to see it. We might be able to track her progress and see what befell her, or at least where she was last before whatever befell her. Befell her!
Can I just check, in terms of the sign, obviously, that has the sort of, looking for Galvora last seen, is there any mention of a reward for finding her, or any of the people who have been lost?
I will say there's not on 5 of the 6, but on one of them, let me just pull up my notes, please hold. One is you see a human female teenager with the name Arabella Medvis on the poster, and it's a slightly larger poster, and it says "Lost Runaway, Arabella Medvis, reward," and it's 3,000 gold, which is quite a lot of money.
Cool. I think I have spotted this, and then turned to Reginald and said, "My friend, it would be my greatest honor if I could accompany you as you search out our mutual friend Galvora, because I do think that it is important that we find her and bring her safely home, and perhaps also find anyone else who is lost, and that would be good."
Do you know Galvora?
I am familiar with her only by reputation, but I heard she is a wonderful person, and I do think it is important that we get her safely home. And
so friend doesn't imply a relationship. It simply implies intentions?
Well, that is a complicated question, my friend, because it really does depend.
There it is again! We don't know each other. You don't even know my name, do you?
Well, I don't, but I would absolutely love to know your name. I stick out my hand.
I shake it. Reginald Periwinkle at your service. And this is Platty.
That's me.
An absolute pleasure to meet you both. My name is OG, and consider me your guide through these wretched and difficult terrains, as it were.
I'm just going to turn and start shaking people's hands and saying, "Hello, friend!" And I'd like to turn to both. I'd like to turn, as he's turn to both Abbott and the other that is us, and say, "Hello, friend, I'm Reginald!" And just shake their hands.
And when Reginald turns and kind of puts his hand into my hand, I'm going to kind of hold onto it. I'm going to assume I've got the biggest hands by quite a distance. Oh no, actually, how big are you, Jeremy? I assume you're quite big.
I'm actually not that huge. I'm like probably over 6 feet tall, but not gigantic.
God, I'm gigantic.
Like probably like 6'1",
okay,
6'2",
so,
thereabouts.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna hold because obviously I've just heard both of these two people talk, and I'm just gonna kind of look like dead into your eyes and be like, hello, the one who searches and one who guides. You seem to be looking for answers. Are you looking for answers?
I'm looking for many things. I don't know where anything is.
I suppose it could be said that we're all looking for answers, I suppose, on a sort of philosophical sense of things.
I am looking for answers, and this one who experiments would also like answers.
And addresses. Answers and addresses. Did you say people who are lost? And I look at OG and I'm like, did you say you're a bit of an expert on finding people who might be lost?
You know what? I would argue that I am an expert in many things, and finding people who are lost is just one of the multitude of services that I might be able to provide you. Sorry, what is your name?
Other us. This is excellent. Oh, sorry. Yes. No. My name is Abbott. This is other us. They're other. They're us. It's a whole thing.
Absolutely did not understand what you just said.
Still holding on to Reginald's hand.
Yeah, my fungus has started to seep out and like sort of contact with yours.
And they do not know how to feel about that. But they also
neither do I.
Think, is this a normal thing? It feels impolite to let go now.
A local custom. How quick.
We can just keep hold, and we
Truly,
can
just watching and going, is this an intimate should we give you some space? Don't understand what's happening here.
Can you hear my mind?
Only when it comes out of your face. Can you hear mine?
No, but I cannot hear the minds of any, I do not think. But you are fungrel, but you are also other.
Yes, people have told me in the weeks that I've been here that I'm a mixture of fungrel and clank. I think the clank is the metal bits, and fungrel is the sort of mossy fungal matter. And you're all
other,
fungal,
but also
are you?
Metal.
Yes, I'm also metal. Yes.
No, I am not. I am large for my kin, because one of the ones who spored me was not fungrel. They were of giant.
Really? Tell me more about these giants. Can we just walk like holding hands, just having a casual, friendly conversation about where we're going?
I feel like while that conversation's happening, Platty's like hopping and sort of like, because these two are much taller, and trying to just dodge around to be like, did you say experiments? One who does experiment? Is that you? Hi, hello.
Oh, hello. Yes, I'm actually here on some research business in the Shatterwood. I have a grant. That's definitely why I'm here. No ulterior motives at all.
Yeah, you have a grant to do science, like a scientist.
Well, yes, you can't be a scientist unless you have a grant to do science.
Oh, absolutely. I know. I'm hoping to one day be a scientist, So it's quite exciting to meet. Oh, yeah.
Where have you studied?
I've been undertaking a sort of a period of independent study.
What would you have an affiliation for this sabbatical?
I'm mostly affiliated with the Mandis Swamp. In that
university.
Oh, sorry, no, it's not my university. It's just where the swamp where I live. But no, I haven't got into any university as such as yet. I'm hoping that my independent research could maybe help me.
Oh, is this sort of postdoc self-funded situation?
Yeah, very much self-funded, that part. Very
Yes,
much
and
so.
and who have you studied under? Any mentors that I might know?
Oh, well, mostly under the shadow of the mountains. Sometimes under sort of low-hanging rocks or sometimes trees.
What about the god, the mountain god? Do you know them?
No, I don't really go in for any of them gods. They're a bit funky, you know.
You know what? Me neither. Me neither. I thought, religion, schmilligion is what I thought. Faith schmaith, gods schmods. I've often thought that, but I suddenly find myself in need of. I've lost someone, and I need to. I feel like this god might know where they are. If you were a god, you'd know.
Oh, it's not Galvora, is it? Because we've lost someone called Galvora, and we're looking for her.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm looking for someone too. They are dramatically missing.
Oh.
Oh,
yes. Well, our new friend here is he says he's something of a guide, and he was going to help us look for people.
I mean, I'm very interested in sort of any help that we can get. Yes, there's locating people. Maybe I don't need to find the god at all. If this this fine fellow is as skilled as he seems.
Oh, well, it'd be really nice to work with you, to be associated with another scientist. I mean, a proper scientist. That would be really something. So maybe we could look together with OG.
It would be my absolute pleasure to serve as your guide, your friend, your butler, as it were. Now, let me just ask you a quick question as we are walking and talking. Tell me, who is this person that you have lost, and what did they mean to you?
Oh gosh. Well, this person who I have lost is a sort of a mentor. You know how it is with academic mentors. I'm sure. Sorry, what was your name? Frog.
Oh, me. Oh, I'm Platy Mantis.
Platy. Yes.
Hi.
So Platy and I know how it is with mentors. Sometimes they wander off. My mentor, Professor Alexander Bishop, wandered off some time ago, and sometimes these mentors, you have lots of questions for them, and then they don't leave a mailing address. And sometimes they send you messages saying, "I'm fine. Please stop asking me questions." But they won't tell you where they are, so you can't find them. So you can't ask them questions. And then sometimes they say, like, "I found God. I'm having a spiritual journey," and you're like, "That doesn't make sense. What does that mean? It makes no sense at all. I'll come find you," but they won't tell you where they live. So you can't.
Right. Yeah, of course. That is obviously a situation that has occurred to everyone. So very relatable, very relatable. Now, here's what I will ask of you in this moment. We will find your mentor, but it will require us, of course, to take many steps of discovery. The first, can you give me something that belongs to your mentor? Just something that I can hold, something that I can get a sense for them.
What about one of the letters that he sent me?
That a letter would work. Usually something that's a bit more valuable is better.
Well, I wouldn't have his belongings, I mean, I didn't know he was gonna.
He never gave you any gifts? No, never.
No. I just didn't really value them.
Never gave you any like money to hold. Just
Schmitz.
No. All right, that's
He
fine.
bought me dinner.
The letter will do just fine then.
All right. Brings out a folded up parchment, scribbled.
I'm going to grab the letter. Then there are two things that I want to do. I basically want to make a show of making it look as if I'm doing something a little bit magical and communing with something. And then I want to I have an ability, I have telepathy as an ability. And I basically want to speak into Abbott's mind as though I am, if not her professor, like some spiritual presence that is telling her to follow OG and trust this man with her life and her gold.
How does telepathy work? Is there a role or is it?
So it says you may open a line of mental communication with one target you can see. This connection lasts until you use this spell to connect with another creature. So it doesn't mention any roles, so I think I can just do it.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
So I think this is more about
what I will
the
say
lying.
Is I'm going to add a deceive roll to it to see if Abbott can work out it's you, or whether the deceive is. And how will I decide what the number for that is? That's a good question.
Oh no.
I'm very willing. I've just been told that there are chosen ones who can communicate with God. Just want to throw that out there.
So I will give you advantage on it, and it's going to be a fairly low DC.
Can I also spend a hope to use my experience of con artist?
Oh yes, 100% you can. So do you want to explain what experience and adding that does?
Cool. So my understanding is that the way experience works in Daggerheart, you effectively have these literally experiences. So whether it is like a specific profession or an incident that's happened in your life, or just something that sort of speaks to your character in general, you basically have these experiences and you can spend a hope to add them to any role that you make where it feels relevant. In this case, I have a +2 to con artist as my sort of primary experience. So I will, spend a hope to do that.
Okay, so you've got advantage, so you add a d6, hope
Adding a
and fear,
D6.
and you also get to add your con artist. To
Yes, and this is a deceive as well, so that's a +3.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. That is
More
a...
fear for Emily.
Yes, that is more fear for Emily. But it is a 4, 11, +3, 14.
14, I will say, is enough for Abbott not to notice. Actually, I tell you what, Abbott, just roll a d20 for me. Do you not have a d20 on you?
That's not what
like, we know you d20 again.
We said forget D20s.
Not entirely. So, fun fact, I only roll a d20 really in this game.
Yeah.
I still, because it's all about the curve. So, I'm more statistically likely to succeed wildly or fail wildly, whereas you have more of a standard bell curve.
I got a 5.
You got a 5. So I know that's perfect. That means you totally believe.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay, what are you saying into Abbott's mind? And what does it look like as you do this?
Yeah, I think I sort of like look, hold the letter, and I kind of like hold it to my chest and sort of really performatively like move and sort of wriggle, and then kind of implies as though I'm being sort of possessed by something. And then you just hear in your mind this kind of whisper of, "This man speaks the truth. Follow him, and all will be revealed."
Is other us still holding Reginald's hand?
Yes.
Okay. Can I just reach out and like grab the other that is us's wrist, arm, and okay, the hand comes with it.
Limbs everywhere.
You're on just like in a conga line now.
I've got quite a wingspan. We'll probably be all right.
Vibrating with excitement, I'm going to sort of come closer. Hatherus, I think I just heard the voice of the mountain. I think I'm a chosen one.
You have heard the voice of the mountain.
Well, I don't know much about gods, but do they sort of speak into your head and offer you wisdom?
From what I have read, it has happened before. What did it tell you? Did it have a task that it wished you to do for it?
We must trust this man here.
The one who guides.
He will guide us. That is why he's called the one that guides. It all makes sense now. He will guide us. He will solve all our problems.
Will he find the answers?
Yes. Yes, I think he will.
I cannot claim that I will find all the answers. I can only say that I will serve as a conduit for whatever powers exist in this world that will enable you to fulfill your destinies. But if that leads us to answers riches, glory, and so be it. I will bear that burden. All right. You, Reginald, it was, right?
Yes, sir.
You seem like you sort of had a handle on where we're going. So why don't you begin by leading, and I will guide from the back.
Certainly. Does anyone know where we're going? If you tell me where we're going, something about a lake. If anyone knows where the lake is, I should be able to find our way there.
At this point, OG, you rolled with fear last time. So I'm going to make my move now.
Here are the consequences of your actions.
As you say, does anyone know where this lake is? You hear a hubbub begin in the crowd. And the sun is rising, it is getting brighter and brighter. And there is a beautiful glow to the sky. But to the left of you, to the left of the city, the glow is far more vibrant. And you can hear a gentle rumbling. And people start to scream. And you hear calls of, it's the laden swell, it's coming this way, we have to move. And people start scattering, running into houses. And you look to the left and you just see this arcane glow approaching. And you see the people are running and saying, it's the lake, it's coming this way. And people are ducking and diving and running into houses. It turns into absolute bedlam. It's a stampede. And in fact, I'm going to ask all of you to make a hide roll.
Ooh, it's my first roll.
I'm going to do this all individually. So
I have a question.
Please.
My community is Ridgeborn. Which it says I have advantage on rolls to traverse various things, including navigate harsh environments.
Does that apply here? Use it on this. This is you, so you would know this, Platty. This is the Laden Swell. It's part of Lake Ladenscree, which was going to be near the city of Hognito, but the swell cannot be controlled. It is believed to be. Some believe it to be the feelings of the mountain. Some believe it to be just a geological thing that there's no predicting. It's not like the weather. The swell can just happen whenever, and what will happen is it will be just an avalanche of rocks barreling through, and it has been known to wipe out towns, cities not so much, but it can do some serious damage.
For advantage, do I just roll a d6 as well as my 2d12s?
Okay, what have
Do you want us to just tell you what we got as we go, or?
Yeah, I think so. There is a mechanic for group checks, but I can't remember what it is, and I'm not going to look it up now, so we'll do it individually.
Okay.
So, who's
Reginald got a 17, rolling with fear.
Lovely, thank you. I'll take a token.
I got a 10 with fear.
Okay, I will take a token.
I got a 19 with fear.
I'll take another token.
I lied, I can't count. I got 12, but we're still with fear.
I'm happy for you about that, because that's the number.
I got a 15 with fear.
My lord, everyone! Okay, I've got lots of tokens. Lou.
I got a 16 with fear.
Oh my lord!
Okay.
I don't know
Well,
what's
it is quite frightening
So
having all these rocks coming at us.
You all succeed. You all manage to dive behind various buildings and things like that. And you actually see in the distance, you see Jura running, and she manages to duck behind a doorway as rocks just barrel through. And the city begins to wobble, and you feel the districts start to shift and move. And you watch as people are diving out of the way. And in general, people, I will say, because you all succeeded, you know, people in general are getting out the way. People are not used to this, but they are prepared for it. So you see some people tumbling down streets, but a couple of people look injured and on the floor. But so far, it doesn't seem like the swell is doing complete destruction. It's a relatively minor event this time. And as you all stand up, the ground begins to crack. And you watch as all of you end up on individual shards and get shot into the air. Suddenly, the slab of Hognito is splitting. It is moving apart. The districts are splitting. You see the slab that Jura was on just suddenly move at a rapid pace in a different direction. And you hear people screaming. The mountain is angry. Everything's going wrong. Like, people are freaking out. And as these shards all start moving, are people still holding hands?
I know that Abbott
I would have been happy to.
grabbed.
Yeah.
I didn't say I'd let go of Reginald, and I know that Abbott grabbed hold of me.
Okay. Abbott, Reginald.
Yeah, I would still be holding on.
Reginald, can you make me a I will say a grapple, a strength check of some, just a strength check for me.
Yes.
This is to see if you can keep hold of the other that is us, as you are put on separate pillars. Other that is
Certainly.
us and Abbott, you are on the same giant pillar. You're on a slightly larger one. OG and Platty, you are on separate ones, and Reginald is on one next to the other that is
My
us
hope
now.
die has fled, so I'm just gonna roll the fear, and then I'm gonna grab the hope. I'll be back in just a second.
I got a lot of fear tokens, lads.
I mean, hope has fled. It's it's not our fault.
13
With
hope.
okay.
Oh, thank God.
You manage to keep a grip, and you end up jumping off of your platform and onto the same one as Abbott and the other that is us. And you see people all around the city are being moved and shuffled in different... You see families trying to cling to each other as they are pulled apart. OG, you see the retired couple on a pillar that is lifted that then splits and suddenly just throws them backwards in different directions. People are screaming. This is terrifying. The other that is us, Abbott, and Reginald. I keep forgetting your name. Can you all make me maneuver checks? So agility. And this is to hold on.
15 for me. That is with fear.
Nice. I might use that in a second.
I critted.
Okay.
I got a double 6 plus 1.
Nice.
I got 16 with hope.
Okay. So, with that, I will say the other that is us, Abbott, as this pillar starts to move, you cling to each other, you cling to the pillar as it spirals away from the city. And this is a slab maybe 2 meters by 2 meters, and it is like a pillar of rock. And you see Reginald clinging to the edge after he jumped, and as it spins, he gets flung into the distance. Away from the city. This is and absolutely flies through the edge, and you can see this arcane energy coming towards the direction he went. And as with that, you get brought back round, and you see OG and Platty, and the other that is us. You hear a voice in your head and that says, "Don't worry, I'll get you where you all need to be." And your 4 pillars come together and just begin travelling at a rapid pace away from Hoganito. You have to duck as railway lines that live above the city fly past you. You are all clinging on. And Reginald, all you see is a purple mist come towards you. A noise of snuffling and 2 red eyes peering at you before everything goes black. And that is where we will end it today. Welcome to Daggerheart, everyone. I've got a lot of fear tokens that I just used, so I'm gonna just take a couple out.
I was just gonna stare at and run through our fingers for the next week.
I'm
just occasionally count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
like
6.
a miser in his
How many
counting
have I
house.
I've got 6 left now after what I did.
God.
So
Wow.
yeah. And that includes moves that you didn't see as well,
Oh.
which is
giving my hope die a serious talking to before
You
next
all
week.
need to give your hope die some serious talking to.
Oh,
because I'm getting
truly.
all the tokens, lads. This is
I might have to swap mine because I have a little ocean die and I'm afraid of the ocean. So I was like, that will be my fear die. But I think I need to swap it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got this wonderful
Facial
class feature as part of a Seraph, which is a Daggerheart Paladin, which at the beginning of each session, I can roll a number of d4s equal to my spellcasting trait and store them and spend them to aid myself or an ally. I can reduce damage and add it to results of rolls or exchange that for hope. Yeah, it's a really, really good power.
That you just realised you have.
No. It's a really good power if my spellcasting trait wasn't a negative. So I don't get any dice equal to my spellcasting trait.
Mine is
perfectly optimized character.
Super optimized.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome to the Kinekozan Jags. That was
intense.
Sweet. Yeah. We'll pick up next week. Where spoilers, we don't have a Jeremy, so hence why Reginald went flying at the end.
I mean, that was convenient.
Wasn't that convenient?
He's gone.
I'm really glad you rolled the lowest number. I was about to just be like, I'm going to spend all my fear tokens and just get you away. But Hognito is not looking good. Some might say it's shattered.
Oh!
She said the name.
We got it.
That's the name of the thing.
You credits. What was happening?
Credits
with it.
What do we think of Daggerheart?
It seems so fun so far.
I realise we haven't done like combat or anything yet, so
we haven't done a lot of Daggerheart things yet. But the characters
a few
are
people
fun.
use their cards and things, which is fun.
Yeah,
That's
But
true.
I will. I mean, I think the
also a lot
whole.
of fear.
Yeah, I think the rolling, being able to kind of roll and have that sort of mixed success thing. I mean, obviously lots of systems use that, but it is fun.
Yeah, I like it. I always struggle with systems where kind of you either do it or you don't, and that's kind of it. Like I like how there's a little bit of flavor mixed in there with like maybe you do it and something goes wrong. I think that I have a lot of things I can do only with hope, and the only rolls we did were just fear.
Yeah,
so that was unfortunate.
Yeah,
but it meant exciting things got to happen.
I will say though the thing that I find interesting though about like when you do have rolls with fear is there's like the GM part of my brain goes, gosh, that's a lot of like things to think about when you have like do you know what I mean? Where it's like whether it's success or failure with fear, it's like, what do I say now? What's do you know what I mean?
It seems hard on the GM.
I'm choosing to use the fear as okay, you do what you want to do. I get a go now, and whether that's to do your thing or not, you know, I might use it later in the down the line, and I'm not relating it to that role because I can't keep all that in my head.
But do you feel that as quite an experienced GM, you need that permission from the game to do things?
No, but I tell you what, yeah, I see what you mean. But I guess maybe that's a good point. Nightbot's taking the camera out.
It's going. There's a cable, and he's like, "Oh, cable!"
I pull that,
and the computer is coming with it. Well done, darling.
I did think that you'd had like a weird neck spasm earlier, and you were sort of at the edge of your screen, and then I realised, and then the hand holding the headphone cable appeared. I was like, "Oh, that's why. That's why we're just shaking about."
Very strange vaudeville act.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get involved. Get him on mic.
Yeah.
He tried to eat the mic already, so let's not get him on mic.
He's a big fan. Well, thank you everyone for playing. We'll go round and you can say where people can find you and plug your stuff. Let's look at my screen. Let's start with Folarin.
Hi, hello. I can be found on Akinmade, A_king_made on most social media platforms. Though, of course, you know, maybe less social media platforms is better than more. But I am an actor and writer and sort of general man about town. So follow me. Find out what I'm doing.
Do. Folarin played Gimli in the Lord of the Rings musical. That's
I did.
Very
the
cool.
best fact about Folarin. And that,
That's
you know,
really
I've
cool.
known Folarin for many, many years, but and I'm a bad friend because I didn't see it, and I'm gutted. Bad friend. Jeremy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jeremy. Jeremy Cobb. Pronouns he, him. I was playing Reginald Periwinkle. And you can find me different places around the internet. I'm on Twitter with the handle Jeremy Cobb1. That's Cobb with 2 B's, number 1. I'm also on Instagram at the Cobbmeister. And if you want to check out, I got a show called 3 Black Halflings that is about inclusivity and diversity stuff when it pertains to nerd things, especially TTRPGs. I'm the resident GM for that show. We actually just released a 2-episode little Pride miniseries playing Monster Hearts that our very own Liv Kennedy.
Love
It's a great
Monster
game.
Hearts, love Liv. We love Liv.
Yeah.
Love just like everyone in that game.
I mean, yeah.
It was a good cast,
really
and
good
Liv did a
cast,
fantastic
yeah.
job. And you can also find me on Twitch itself, at twitch.tv/casualquestlive, where I stream video games that I'm playing for the first time. Because I am a video game casual.
Put that in the chat earlier.
That was me. Yes.
Did you not know that? Oh,
I didn't realize
got
that
that.
was you.
Oh,
That was me. That was me.
I wouldn't have replied to you in chat if I don't know.
Yeah, you did. You're like, sorry, and I was like, it's okay. Oh, thank you for the shout out. Oh, I just realized I'm not following. There.
We weren't following
now
you
I'm
either,
following.
so now we're following you too.
So the other thing that I was going to say is I'm going to be DMing at D&D in a Castle. Next week I'm DMing at D&D in a Castle, but that's going to be in Ohio. But I'm also doing it again. It just got recently announced. I'm going to be doing it in the UK, DMing at a castle, D&D in a Castle in November, early November. I think it's November 4th through 8th. And I believe there are still
Cozy.
seats available.
cozy
Yeah.
castle vibes. I'm
Castle
thinking.
vibes. Castle
Exactly.
with the Cobb.
Exactly. Come castle some Cobbs with me. Or Cobb
I
some
mean,
castles.
as someone who has lived in a castle with Jeremy for a few days, we met at D&D in a castle. It's very good vibes, and he's absolutely go and sign up to that table. It'll be a real good time.
Nice.
Thank you for the endorsement, Lou. It's going to be a blast, so absolutely sign up. There are tickets available still. I believe dndinacastle.com is the website, and just look me up on there. So that's it from me, everybody. Thank you.
Beautiful stuff. Michelle?
Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
I've just given up on my order because I've looked at my screen, not that screen. Anyway, it's fine. Michelle, you go.
Is it good? May I go?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Hello, I'm Michelle Kelly. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an actor, singer, voice actor, and little ground frog doing her best. You can follow me at Michellecopter on the socials. Did I forget to tweet that I was doing this today? I sure did, but usually I try and tweet about when I'm going to be popping up in different streams and podcasts and things. So give me a follow there. And also I'm on some other socials, but less good at remembering to post where I'm going to be. So, come find me. You never know.
Beautiful stuff. Lou.
Hi. I'm also bad at posting things on socials. It's awful. But the ones I do post on, and the ones I don't, are all at I am Lou Fryer, where you can find me, Lou Fryer, not she, they, popping up in various places, including here, and on the Actual Play monthly release podcast of Dice and Them. We're currently in the midst of a very silly Blaze in the Dark campaign where none of us really know the rules. And at least half of us don't really like the system. So it's a really good time that everyone is having. And we'll be of Dice and Them is a podcast where we play different games that all take place in the same world. So the weird underground seedy world of Blades in the Dark takes place in the same universe as our stupid D&D characters that we also have. So find out what we're gonna play next in the next couple of months, because we have a slow release schedule.
Love that.
But come find us.
Shamini, and what would you like to talk about today?
I would like to talk about the lovely RP Geeks Patreon, patreon.com/RPGeeks, possibly.
No,
I did not
patreon.com/RPGeeksDND.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Oh god, it's been a little while. It's been a while. Thank you. And yes, I would love to do some shout outs to a couple of our patrons today.
Someone roll me a D12 and we'll get the names for you.
Has anyone still got a D12 out? I'll just put mine away.
I do. I have both mine.
We're going to pick some patrons at random, and what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that these patrons live in
Hognito.
Hognito.
Actually, just the Kinekozan Jags.
We've only seen Hognito so far, though.
I know, but we could give a little bit of extra lore that might not come up in the game, you know?
Okay, you can do that then.
Yeah, go on. Someone roll me a dice.
Okay, first number.
I rolled a 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's Megan Ramirez.
Megan, who has been in chat. If Megan was living in the Kinekozan Jags, where would she be living? What would she be?
So, the very top of the Kinekozan Jags, at the tallest peak, is a place called Sun Peak Station. And that's the biggest city, but it just sort of orbits the peak. And so is it the biggest city? It's a big city. It might not be as big as Hognito. Probably is now. And it's where a lot of the trains that we didn't really talk about very much, I sort of hinted at them, but they're a really cool bit of this world where, also I should add, this Kinekozan Jags is from the Daggerheart playtest material, and I've adapted it a little bit to fit our story and what we're doing. But they have a thing called the Iron and Blue, which is the railway tracks, and they sit above the mountain and they rotate, so as slabs move, the slabs move under the tracks, and the railway lines relink. And some move with slabs, some are solid in the rock, but some rotate, some have different
like when you're playing with like the different pieces. If you're like playing with a train set and like you move things,
so they could be like that, and then you're like, no, I want them to be like this, and you turn them around, and that's called the Iron and Blue. And I wonder if Megan is like one of the minds behind the Iron and Blue, one of the engineers that make sure that because they have to do new tracks a lot of the time. Hognito's probably lost a couple of its tracks, and so someone will have to come and repair all of that. And I wonder if Megan is one of the like overarching minds.
Genius engineers.
Yeah,
I like it. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Do we do one more usually?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's been a while.
I rolled my die, both of them, and got another 2 5s, a crit.
2 5s. Okay.
We've got a crit for someone.
It's Gareth Blindfish.
It's Gareth Blindfish. So I have an idea for this.
Okay.
Just based on today. But if anyone else would like to jump in, we just make up something. And Emily, we don't have to know deep lore, do we?
No. I'll add deep lore if it's there.
Okay, I'll go this week, just because I really want to make someone, in this case Gareth Blindfish, one of the little piggies living on a roof. And I imagine
it's got to be one of the piggies. Yeah.
Like it's not the glory, but I just imagine that they've just like there's a little old lady who has her pigs on the roof, and they've got just like a special bond, and she's just like, you're never gonna be bacon because you're my friend, and they've lived there for many years. An elderly pig.
An elderly pig.
You're an elderly pig.
Can we maybe
like
add
a
to that as
prize
well?
winner?
We can.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got rosettes.
Yeah.
I like
they're
that.
like they're an elderly pig who like in their youth they spent a considerable amount of time herding sheep.
In the glory days.
In the glory days, yeah.
Yeah,
and they became
were
world renowned for. Yeah, I'm familiar with Babe. I don't know what you're talking about. This is an original story that I've just come up with.
Oh, I missed that. Yes, all right, sure.
Yes. Real Babe. I don't know why you said something about that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well.
Stop picking up.
And that little old lady says, "That'll do, Gareth. That'll do.
That'll do,
Exactly.
Gareth. That'll do."
Perfect.
And that was Galvora. Anyway, was that the accent I did for Galvora? This is what I do. I do an accent, and then next time I'll be like, how do I do Galvora's accent? It's fine.
What
You'll
did
never
you
find
sound
it.
like
It's
again?
all good.
Should be Scouse next time. It'd be fine.
Vague Northern. Okay, lovely. If you would like to be one of our patrons and have a chance at having your self put into the world of the Kinekozan Jags, then join us on Patreon at patreon.com/rpgeeksdnd. Any of the paid tiers, you're eligible for that shout out. And then we've got some other cool stuff coming up. We're not quite sure exactly what we're doing for this series yet, but there will be something, and it'll be fun, and you'll be glad you're on there. Just we haven't worked it out yet, but we'll have a chat.
It's been a while.
After Twitch, we'll have a chat. You can follow us on all our socials at RPGeeksD&D. The only one we really post on is X now. Instagram's
you called it X.
Twitter, it's Twitter. How dare you?
Called it.
Do you know why I've called it X?
Why?
Well, because I have to call it X when I do reports.
Your official job for your official job place. They've
And,
got to you.
I'm not sure about my
Don't
new
give
official job place. I
in
don't
to
do anything
him.
with X for my new official job place, but my old official job place, I did have to do that. So yes, that's the main one to follow us on to see what's coming up. And if you are watching on YouTube, hello, can you press that subscribe button? That would be really nice. It's just over there. Just press it. Just give it a little boop. And if you are also on YouTube, there's a few things you can do. You could write a nice little comment and be like, oh, that was very fun. You could like it.
Stars.
You could put a little notification bell on so that when we post videos, it goes, hey, we've posted a video. And that's fun.
Could we say something inflammatory to encourage angry comments?
Rage baiting?
Oh,
Yeah.
we haven't included.
We talked about
the ice
magnums
cream.
for a bit.
Well, we haven't included that in the YouTube, most likely. Okay, YouTube, hi, welcome. If you were to have a magnum, do you want bits in it or not? I think no. Why would you?
I think the answer is, of course, yes, because why would you want a sort of single texture in your mouth? You want multiple flavors and textures. You want a more interesting...
If you think that one of these two people is wrong, if you think that one of these two people is very wrong and needs to be told so, write it in the comments below.
Please. And if you are listening on podcast, hello, lovely.
Hello. You waved. She waved. Podcast people, she waved.
I waved at you, and you just need to know that. But if you are listening on a podcast,
Is this ASMR now?
Yeah, it is ASMR.
ASMR PG.
If you wanted to maybe like us, follow us, I don't know what you do on podcasts. If you could do any of the things that you do.
You want to rate 5 stars on that?
And
There you
make
go.
it 5 stars. That would be really lovely. Because it's quite nice when people do that. It makes us happy. Thanks. And if you write a really nice comment, maybe we'll read it out. I probably will, because I'll get really excited.
Oh.
So you could do that.
You read out in this sexy microphone voice.
Is it sexy microphone voice, or is it just
a bit sexy.
really close to the microphone voice?
I like it.
Don't laugh that loudly here. Anyway, we've been the RP Geeks. This has been a very long outro, and thank you so much for joining. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm not on Twitch to press the thanks for watching button. Hang on, please hold everyone. Hi Twitch.
Wait,
how you
oh,
doing?
so
We're gonna
close.
go now. Bye,
So
everyone.
close to a smooth out.
Bye.
Bye.